but I think scams is what Barry wanted, but I don't even know what the other one is. So,
Oh, that's fine. And we have plenty of time. I mean,
of course.
and I can send you a whole list of our possible classes because we have like 6 or 7 of them. But it's up to you guys. I just know that usually the top 10 is a crowd pleaser for any age. Can't tell if that's on my computer. Sorry,
Okay,
I had
yeah,
a
we'll talk.
spot.
We'll talk off.
There you go. Had a spot on my computer and couldn't tell if it was me or the
Jennifer,
computer.
how many people have signed up?
I don't remember, to be perfectly honest with you. We were closed for the last 2 days, and then we had a meeting this morning, and so we're all just like, bam, back into this week.
Did you ladies get bad weather last night?
Yeah, but it wasn't terribly bad.
Yeah.
There was a tornado warning going off at
Mm-hmm.
like 10, but I don't think it touched down anywhere.
I don't know.
I was busy watching my show. I was ignoring it. I was like, if I need to go in the bathtub, I'll do that with my iPad.
Right.
I was reading a book and then my teenager and my 11-year-old got in the bed and I said, go get a book. And we, that's the rule. We don't watch TV when I'm reading.
What are you reading?
Oh, I'm just reading, honestly, just junk right now, romance junk, because I have to read so much policy and scams during the day. At night is kind of like just my own, I call it junk reads.
I hear you.
But I do read more serious stuff. I love like biographies, bibliographies, history. I love all that stuff. But right now I'm just kind of in a different, phase. It's kind of like if you look at my library, you would laugh at the different things I have, from religious to history to romance to,
That's fun.
it's a lot of fun. And I'm old fashioned. I like the actual books. I have a Kindle, but I don't use it.
All right, we'll wait one more minute. If we have folks watching us on YouTube, we'll be here for one more minute, then we'll start letting folks in and give everybody a chance to get settled.
Hello.
Hi, Richard.
Hello. Are we ready to start?
We're going to give it just a minute or two. We usually have folks who come in. We're not, a minute or two late. So we'll wait one more minute just in case we've got some extra folks coming on, and then we'll get started.
Perfect. I see my friend Roberto. How are you?
Hello, everybody. I would say let's go ahead and get started, and then we can always have folks join us. Richard, do you want to kick us off?
Okay, welcome everybody. Thank you for joining us either via Zoom or on YouTube. And this is our second Yes program via Zoom. We had a great program last month. I think today's program will be just as outstanding and perhaps even more outstanding. We are really excited to present this program because it deals with something we address and we have to face every day, at least I see it every day, and that is theft by deception. And we can call it scams, you can call it whatever you want to call it, but I just want to tell you what happened to me. And to preface the story, I want you to know that I retired as a corporate banking counsel 14 years ago, and I practiced with some of the most complicated financial transactions that you can imagine over the years. I thought I was pretty sophisticated, but here's what happened. I got an email from a very good friend of mine, and his email address looked like it was the one I was used to seeing. And he said to me he was on a cruise, and his niece was in trouble and needed some Visa or some other kind of gift cards, and he needed $400 or $500 worth of them. And would I mind sending it to this address, or no, would I mind putting it on, getting them and then sending them to him? So I said, okay, because I knew him and he's good family, good friend. So I'll go to Kroger's and I buy the $400 or $500 worth of gift cards, and I'm saying, boy, I'm doing a good deed. I am really doing something right. And I'm standing in line at the checkout counter at Kroger's. And I get to the cashier, as a gentleman, and he sees that I've got four or five cards, $400, $500. He said, I'm just wondering, why are you buying these? And I told him, I said, I've got a very dear friend who's on a cruise, his niece is in trouble, and I'm sending some money to them. He said, I just want to tell you, there are scams that look just like this. So you can buy it if you want, but I suggest you take another look at it. And immediately I said, oh no. And I felt about this big, okay, because I had been duped, and thanks to an alert cashier at the cash register at Kroger's, that has saved me $400 or $500, and more importantly, my self-respect. And I learned a lot, and I hope that today, by virtue of today's program, you will see what I learned personally, and which nearly cost me $400 or $500. So I want to say thanks to the Medallion and Senior Living Specialist for bringing us this program. And we'll start with a welcome from Stephanie Baracus from the Medallion.
So Stephanie wasn't able to join us today, but she did put together a little video, which I'll run for you now because she did want to say hi to everybody.
Hello, my name is Stephanie Barocas, and I'm the Community Relations Director at the Medallion Assisted Living here in Meyerland. We are so happy to sponsor the Yes Group again with the Senior Living Specialists. Our topic today is very important to discuss, as our seniors can be targets for scammers, resulting in very detrimental consequences. At the Medallion, we're so blessed to have a family made up of dedicated staff and amazing residents that we have the privilege of caring for. The Medallion has been part of the Jewish community for a long time, and we would love the opportunity to help you too. If you find you need assistance with daily tasks such as making meals, help to take your medications, or even just socialization, please call me at the Medallion and schedule a tour. We're here for you when you need us. Today, it's my pleasure to introduce Lori Ferris with Senior Living Specialists Houston. In 2018, after going on a journey with her parents and their aging problems, Lori founded Senior Living Specialists Houston. She helps seniors and their families navigate the maze of senior living communities. It's a complimentary service that she puts all her heart into that allows her to travel along the pathway with her clients, keeping safety and care as her top priority. She is on the board of the Jewish Federation Business and Professional Women's Networking Group, hosts the television show called The Boomer Connection, and sits on the board of the Better Business Bureau Education Foundation. I'll turn it over to her now. Enjoy the presentation. Hello.
Oops.
So, hi, I'm Lori Ferris, and I am what Stephanie says, and I will call her to tell her thank you later. I'm a senior living specialist, and yes, I do go on the journey trying to put the puzzle together of how to keep seniors safe. If they want to stay at home, how we do that through construction and care. If they want to look at communities, try to figure out what's appropriate, keeping safety and care at the top priority. But most important, we all need to have a plan in place. So unfortunately, 85% of what I do is in crisis, which is, very difficult to make rational decisions when we're in crisis. So just having a plan in place, or at least knowing what's out there and options, are kind of what I do. So like I said, I am on the board of the Better Business Bureau, and I've been so fortunate to meet a lot of interesting people that are doing amazing things. But Jennifer Salazar is doing incredible work helping to keep seniors to avoid scams like the one we heard of before, but a lot of others are out there. So let me introduce Jennifer. Jennifer Salazar is a native Southeast Texan who graduated with a Bachelor of Science in Sociology from LeVar University. Upon graduation, she was accepted in the Area Agency of Aging of Southwest Texas as the lead benefits counselor and staff nursing home ombudsman. From 2012 to 2016, Jennifer worked for Kahn's corporate office in the Woodlands, Texas. She started in human resources and worked her way up to information technology coordinator. In 2016, she became the senior medical patrol program director for the Better Business Bureau of Greater Houston Education Foundation. Jennifer is happily married to her college sweetheart, and she has 2 daughters. She is a strong advocate for those who do not have a voice, especially the greatest generation of Americans.
Thank you so much for having me, and thank you everyone who is attending on YouTube or through Zoom. Richard, thank you so much for sharing your story with us. And what we're going to do today is talk about the top 10 scams of 2021. And Richard's story is actually our number 7 scam that we're going to talk about today. This is a really unique list because at the Better Business Bureau Education Foundation in Houston, Texas, we log our telephone calls. And this list is based on the telephone calls that we receive, and we count them down from 10 to 1. So I'm not going to lie, this could actually be the top 40 of 2021, but we narrow it down to the top 10, the most calls that we receive. So let's get started. For those of you that I haven't met in person, it is a pleasure to meet you today. If you ever need to call me about scams or Medicare, I know a lot about Medicare and Medicare fraud, give me a call. My line is always open. If we don't get to you in the day you call, we always get to you within 24 hours. And I'm not only a director at the Better Business Bureau, I'm also your state director for a program called the Texas Senior Medicare Patrol. This is a federally funded grant that we have at the Houston Better Business Bureau, and we cover all 254 counties in the great state of Texas. And yes, you will probably ask, Jen, have you been to all 254 counties? Well, no, I've only been to 249 of those counties, but sooner or later I will go to the rest. What we do is we train volunteers on scams and how to protect Medicare. And we teach them, and they go do speeches like I'm going to do for you today. Of course, with COVID, we're doing everything virtual. We also, if fraud happens, we have a staff. We build the case. We build the case on Medicare fraud, error, and abuse, and we turn it in to the real investigators like the FBI, the Texas Department of Insurance, the Office of Inspector General, Texas Attorney General's office. And I'm not going to put you to sleep because there's about 30 more agencies that I can list. We build the case, we send it. We had a case where it was $93.5 million that we built and we sent it, and the gentleman was just convicted and now going to spend quite a few years in prison. So we build a lot of cases and we turn those into the federal and state investigators. But I could talk about Medicare fraud all day long, and it is in the top 10 scams and schemes. But let's get started. Without further ado, I present to you the top 10 scams of 2021. And it takes a community to stop scams. It takes wonderful people like Richard to tell his story to stop scams, because these can happen to anyone at any time. They target all ages. And who in America do you think gets scammed the most? A lot of people will say, well, people 60 and older. That's not true. Did you know the people that get scammed the most in America is men between the ages of 18 and 24? They get scammed the most. However, people that are 60 and older get scammed the least, but they lose the most money. Because think about it, they have their home is probably paid off. They have Medicare. Did you know a Medicare card is worth at least $30,000? They have benefits. So let's get into these scams. And if you fall for any of these, please don't be embarrassed. It's not your fault. It's the scammer's fault. So one thing scammers love to do, and this might be a shocker, me and you are not the only people that read our Houston Chronicle or watch the news at night. Guess what? Scammers do too. And let me tell you why. Scammers like to take something we all know about, and develop a scam. So a scam can start off as the truth, and then scammers take it to the next level and make a scam. And you're going to see a lot of this in these slides. And you probably already know what the first scam is of 2021, but you're going to have to keep guessing. So let's get started. Number 10. This one is horrible. We've had too many of these cases. This is what we call stealing from the grieving. This is when a scammer will contact a widow or widower and tell them that the spouse that just passed away has an outstanding debt. You have to realize that scammers are very bad people. They don't care about your feelings. They don't care if you're heartbroken. They're after one thing, and that's money. Sometimes the scammer will even appear at the victim's door, basically saying that, you know, there's a package here, you need to pay for it. Your loved one didn't pay for this. Oh, they're passed away. I'm so sorry to hear you. So sorry to hear about that. But how do these scammers know? How do these scammers know that our loved ones passed away? Well, just like the news, scammers also look at obituaries. They also look at funeral home pages. That's right. Unfortunately, scammers will go through obituaries either online or in the newspaper. They will find people that just lost a loved one. They will take that name and they'll go to the internet, and they might can find an address. They might can even find a telephone number, and they're going to try to scam that person out of money. Now, at the BBB Education Foundation in Houston, we don't want to just tell you about the scam. We want to take it a step further. We want to give you protection. We want to tell you ways to not fall for the scam. Did you know, according to AARP, the more you know about a scam, you're 80% less likely to fall for it. So how do we not fall for the scam? First off, don't make a fast decision. I don't know about you guys, but the minute I find out that I have a delinquent bill or I have a bill at all, I want to pay it immediately because I don't want to have to worry about it later, or I want to set up cash arrangements or something. Don't make a fast decision. Research the company. Guess what? You now have a friend at the Better Business Bureau. I will happily look up a company with you. No questions asked. I can look up a company, I can verify, I can snoop and see if that was Richard's friend or not. We have a lot of tools that we can do to find out if it's legitimate or not. And your call is confidential. I'm not going to go tell the world your business. And it's at no cost, because guess what? We have a federal grant. So you already paid for this service. You're a taxpayer. repair. What you also can do is ask the person that's saying your spouse owes this money, ask them for a contract. If they actually are bold enough and they give you a contract, and this is actually a contract, I'm not going to show you what it looks like, but in this contract that one of the widows gave us, just on page 1, just in the first paragraph, I counted 19 spelling errors and punctuation errors. And I'm not an English teacher, my friends, but a lot of times these contracts are put together in a hurry and they're you can tell if they're scams or not. Also, look at the signature. Look at the signature. If it looks really sloppy, it's more than likely a scammer because a lot of our signatures look very sloppy. Also, there's always tiny, tiny fine print they might have. Get a magnifying glass. I'm 40 years old and I keep this in my purse. I have one in my purse. I have one by the TV and I have one on my desk because working for the BBB, I've become very paranoid. If I see a commercial with a lifetime guarantee, I get my magnifying glass out and hit the pause button on the TV and I read that fine print because there's always something on there. Same with these contracts. Number 9. Unneeded repairs. And we all live in the Houston area, right? I'm actually in Spring, but work in Houston. We see a lot of unneeded repairs, especially after a hurricane or what we call snow bid. It was the winter storm with COVID, right? This is where bad guys, and they even do this, my friends, the criminals and scammers will go through neighborhoods and they will look at neighborhoods. And what they will do is they will look at your roof and they'll look at your car. They try to find things that don't look right. They'll look at your door. And if they see something that they think might need to be fixed, they might knock on your door and say, hey, it looks like some of your shingles are off your roof, or hey, your window has a crack in it. Can we help you? In fact, we have leftover materials in our truck. I just need a few $100s so we can go ahead and get the rest of the materials needed and we can come tomorrow and fix the problems. Hit the pause button because a lot of this is scammers. They're going to take your money and they're going to run. Always, always, always get a contract. We also call these folks rogue bandits. They're actually known as gypsies. What they do is they travel from town to town, offering to fix whatever problems you may have. They want your money. They might do some work or pretend to do the work, but then they leave. You'll never see them again. Their phone numbers are disconnected. Their truck has out-of-state license plates or paper license plates. Unfortunately, a lot of times they will use their religion to try to get your business, talking about their faith. Don't fall for it. And the problem is, if they do any work, they're probably not licensed, they're not bonded, and they will probably do a lot of damage to your home. So how do we stop these guys? Well, first, do your homework before making any decision when it comes to home repair. Did you know that Americans in the whole United States, including Guam and Puerto Rico and the Virgin Islands, did $1 billion last year in home repair? $1 billion. Oh my goodness. Do your research. Whenever you have somebody come into your home to fix your home, I want you to treat it like a job interview because they're coming to work for you. You're the boss. You have the power. Don't let them intimidate you. Don't let them be rude to you. If you feel unsafe, call the police department. And some people think, well, Jen, people would never act that way. They actually do. Don't let them scare you. Ask for references. Ask for 3 references at least. And also, always, always sign a contract. And let me tell you why. When you sign a contract, if they violate that contract in any way, you have proof. Don't wire money, don't pay in cash, and don't pay in gift cards. Try to pay by check, try to pay by credit card, because credit card has more protections than a bank account. Because when you use your bank account, like your debit card, they take the money out immediately. The reason why I say check or a credit card is they're more traceable. Money is not as traceable. All right, working our way to number 7. And Richard, number 8. I'm just so excited. I wanted to jump to 7. Number 8, we have seen a lot. And the other day, my husband was working from home. He got this scam. It's called the bank fraud protection scam. And this one is sneaky, my friends. So basically the way this one works is a scammer will call you over the telephone and he will act like someone is trying to hack into your bank account. He will pretend to be your bank or your credit card company. And he will basically say, Mr. Salazar, someone's trying to get into your bank account. We need to put a hold on your account or we need to lock your account. In order to do so, I just need the 3-digit PIN on the back of your ATM card, or I just need the expiration date. Pause. This is the actual hacker. This is the bad guy. This is the guy pretending to save you. But in reality, he's the scammer. And we've seen lots of victims lose money on this. So how do we stop this guy? Well, first off, never share your personal or financial information over the telephone, no matter how real they sound. Also, don't trust your phone. I know that sounds silly. Scammers have a technology. It's called spoofing. It sounds like a magic trick, but it's not. Scammers have a technology where they can take any phone number they want. They can take any name that they want. They can put it in your phone. Like it could say Capital One, and then it could look like your bank's telephone number. Don't let this fool you. If your bank ever was to call you, your bank's not going to say, Mr. Salazar, what's the 3-digit code on the back of your card? They're not going to ask for that. Trust me. So don't let this fool you. Or what you could do is say, let me get your name and number and let me call you back. And if they are like, no, it's definitely a scammer, because they want you to give the information now. Contact your bank directly. Don't call the number back on here. Don't write down the voicemail. Don't do any of that. You call your bank directly. Look at the back of your ATM card, your credit card. Use that number to call to report it. Because if they're doing it to you, they're doing it to others. Did you know that only 1 in 44 report these scams? So if it's happening to you, it's happening to 44 more people. So we've got to take care of each other like Richard did. Richard is helped to save us because it takes people to talk about it to stop it. Now we can finally get to number 7. We call this phishing. And it's not the kind of phishing I like to do on my weekends. And by the way, yes, I do have a pink phishing pole, but that's another story. It's not the kind of phishing that I like to do. What this is called is, this is fake emails. And it can look like our friends. It can look like our family. It can even look like, for example, a big one is Amazon. Like we ordered something from Amazon, but it's not. And there's different reasons why they send out this email. One reason is to try to get gift cards. They might say they lost their wallet, their purse, they're on a cruise, like Richard's story. I need help. Can you send gift cards? That's one way. But another way is, oh gosh, I'm stuck in Mexico and I don't know what to do. And can you send money to my PayPal? Here's the link. Just click on it and put money in. Well, guess what? You're going to put money in, but it's actually going to go to a scammer. Or, hey, click on this link. Look at a picture of us back in high school. It might be something goofy. Or it might be, hey, do you know what our favorite actress looked like back in 1980? Might sound like a silly email, right? Or, hey, there's a miracle cure for COVID. Click here to learn more. So you might, curiosity often kills the cat. You might think, oh, let me click on that. Let me see what happens. Did you know what the scammer just did? When you click on the link in the email, he's loading something to your computer called malware. It's a virus. Yes, computers can get viruses and even die, but what this does is when they load those viruses to your computer, did you know that they can find out your passwords if you're looking at your bank account? If you have any personal information on your computer, they can hack into all of that. They can hack into your email. They can do whatever they want. So how do we stop this? Because this is overwhelming. This is overwhelming because we all have email these days and we all track emails. In fact, my daughter, who's 11 years old in the 5th grade, I got an email from her teacher sending me her Christmas list of things that she needed for her classroom, right? And I thought, okay, she needs, some white markers and she needs this. Why does she need an Amazon gift card? So I'm going to tell you what saved me from falling for this. First off, your mouse, which is your cursor. I took this and I put this over the teacher's name. So whenever you get an email and it says from Jennifer Salazar or from, your friend, I want you to take your mouse, which is your cursor, your arrow, right? I want you to put it over who it's from. Like if it's from me, if it's from Jennifer Salazar, I want you to put it over their name. I want you to wait 5 seconds. Did you know the real email address will appear in 5 seconds? So what I did when my daughter's teacher emailed me trying to get supplies for her classroom, I put the mouse over her name. It wasn't my daughter's teacher's name. It was gohappy.com or something weird, the weirdest name you can come up with. Be cautious. This can happen to anyone. This is number 7 on our list, but it's probably going to jump to number 2. And this has been on our list for at least 5 years since I've been with the Bureau. Also, there's another part of the scam that we're seeing a lot of, and a lot of it, we believe, has to do with COVID. We're seeing a lot of this where people are trying to blackmail other people by saying, Jennifer, we know what you've been looking at. If you don't send $500 to us today, and they give you a link to send $500, we're going to send a list of the pictures of what you've been looking at to everyone in your network. They're basically threatening to send pornography out if I don't give them $500. Don't fall for it. Delete the email. Whatever you do, just delete the email. It is a scam. Number 6, looking for love in all the wrong places, the romance scam. Since 2020, since coronavirus, the BBB National has seen a 50% spike in the romance scam of all ages. I have victims from the age of 16 to the lovely age of 92 years old. Anyone can fall for the romance scam. You don't even have to have a computer. Now, for those of you that don't know what the romance scam is, this is kind of like fishing in a way. You meet someone on the internet or on the telephone, and you think they're somebody, but they're not. Basically, we've seen this in so many different ways. One of our most recent cases is we had a lovely lady, 90 years young, and she fell in love. She fell in love with a gentleman who is a military soldier. He was a captain for the United States Army, and he's stationed in Afghanistan. Well, he's no longer in the Army. He's trying to get home, needs your help to get home. So he's sending her money, and they're in love, but then he gets stuck over there. So she sends him a lot of money. And then she tells her daughter, because she hasn't told her daughter about him in 3 years, but now that she's out of money, she needs more money. So she turned to her daughter, and her daughter finally figured out what was going on. This can happen to anyone, my friends, I promise you. And usually the biggest way that these scammers contact people is online. And it can be this simple. You could be on Facebook, if you have a Facebook page, and you get a pop-up. Jen, you have such a lovely profile. This happened to my grandmother last week. It said, Linda, you have such a beautiful face. I think we should be friends. My name is Henry. And they were waiting for my grandmother to type back. Anybody that asks to be your friend on Facebook or on the telephone, just hang up. We've seen people take this scam a bit further, pretending to be long lost relatives. For example, a gentleman got a call not too long ago. He stopped talking to his daughter a few years ago because she was an alcoholic. She refused to get help. So he did what the professionals told him to do. Stop talking until she gets help. So he did. He receives a phone call and he thinks it's his daughter. But guess what? We found out it's a scammer. It was a scammer pretending to be a long lost relative trying to get his money. So no matter what happens with this scam, they're going to show you love. They're going to try to get into your heart. They're going to try to isolate you because they don't want anybody else's influence to try to convince you it's a scam. They just want your money. And it's devastating. It's devastating when you find out that this is a scam. So how do we save you? Well, first off, always be leery of people you meet online. And did you know that even fraudsters, scammers, criminals, scum of the earth, whatever you want to call them, they love to go on the internet. And if you put stuff on Facebook, be very careful, or on Twitter or whatever you're on, be careful what you post, even if it's in privacy mode. Scammers have a way to see what you're posting, and scammers will gravitate towards that. If they see that you're in Florida, guess what? Hey, Jean, I saw your picture in Florida. I was in Florida a few weeks ago. Were you at that restaurant on da 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 da? They will do whatever they can to lure you in. There are special websites where you can see if this person is a scammer or not. Now, if you don't know how to do these, again, you can contact us and we can help you. We don't ask questions, and we're not going to get in your business unless you need help. It's called scamsurvivors.com and 10i.com. Now, 10i, you can take a picture of anybody, okay? And you can put it on this website, and it will take their face and match it to all the faces in the internet, as many as it can, right? And it will tell you how many websites that face has been on. Now, our lovely lady that was 90 years old that was in love with a gentleman in Afghanistan, we got a picture of him. We put it on that website. He's on over 9,000 websites. Okay, so it's really a good tool. So even if you've been given a check to cover the amount of expenses you're wiring, because sometimes what they do is they will send you money and they will cover your expenses, don't fall for it, because in the beginning, they might send you flowers, they might send you roses, you might give them money, but then they send you money to cover it. Don't get involved, just walk away. Number 5, we have 2 in 1, because this one is actually a tie. This is the Social Security scam and the Medicare scam. So first off, we all have a Social Security number, right? Yes. So scammers know this, and scammers want you to be afraid. Scammers are going to call you because, again, they're after your money, or better yet, they're after your identity. Now, why would anybody want to commit identity theft? Well, I'm glad you asked. Did you know with a Social Security number, people can take out a job, they can file taxes, they can do a lot of damage, they can take out credit, they can do a lot of damage with a Social Security number. And the way this scam works is you might get a telephone call and they might say something like, your Social Security number has been linked to a crime. In order to fix this, we need $500 today. Or, this is Jennifer with the Social Security Administration. We just need to verify that you are Jennifer Salazar. What is your full social? Social Security would never ask for your information because they already have it. And this is what you need to know to stay safe. A lot of times these scammers are mean. They yell, they cuss, they're impatient. And they will say, well, if you don't give me your Social Security number, if you don't give me $500, we're going to block, we're going to freeze, we're going to stop your Social Security check, and we're going to stop you using your Social Security number for anything. It's a threat. Social Security does not have that power. They would never stop, freeze, or block your Social Security account. That's the money your Social Security goes into, your money, or your Social Security card. They won't do that. If you are suspicious, call this number or call us at the Texas Senior Medicare Patrol. We're going to give you our information at the end. Please call us because we don't want anybody to fall for this scam. So the second part of this is the Medicare scam. So we do have the federal grant for the Texas Senior Medicare Patrol. We see a ton of Medicare cases every single day, but the most popular one that we see is telephone calls. Let's get one thing straight. When President Lyndon B. Johnson signed Medicare into legislation in 1965, did you know he only had one fraud protection of the day? It was that Medicare will never call you on the telephone ever, ever. You'll get a call from the Queen of England, or Elvis will come back to call you before you get a call from Medicare, because it's not going to happen. Medicare is not going to call you on the phone. But these scammers know that you might not know that. And the Medicare numbers easily worth $30,000. So what do they do to get your Medicare number? They will do a million things to try to get your Medicare number. What they will do is say, hi, this is Jennifer from the Pain Management Center. Are you in pain? Do you need a knee brace or a back brace? We can send you one. Medicare pays for it. I just need your Medicare number. Or they may even say this. Hi, this is Jennifer with Medicare. Did you get your new Medicare card? Wonderful. Was it paper or plastic? It was paper. I sincerely apologize. I want to mail you one in plastic with a microchip. It's just like a credit card. I just need to verify your Medicare number. These are scams, my friends. These are scams, and they will do everything and anything they can to get your number. And even worse, there's another scam that's linked to COVID and Medicare. Hi, this is Jennifer with Medicare. We never want you to get coronavirus. So we want to mail you a kit. And in the kit, it has hand sanitizer, mask, wipes, and vitamin C to make sure you never get coronavirus. I just need your Medicare number. Again, they're after your number. So how do we stop this? Know that Medicare is not going to come visit you. They're not going to come have tea with you. They're not coming to your home. They're not going to call you on the phone. I want you to start reviewing what's called your Medicare summary notice, or if you're on a Medicare Advantage plan, your explanation of benefit. If you see anything that doesn't look right, please call me, because we will review it and we will see if it's errors, fraud, or abuse, because we want to help you to prevent Medicare fraud. Last year, $90 billion was reported in fraud for Medicare. Number 4, we're almost to our number 1 scam of the 2021, tech support scams. This is a big one. Even on a telephone, even on a computer, an iPad, a laptop, whatever device you have, this can happen in many different ways. One of the ways is you get a pop-up on your computer and it says it's from Microsoft or Norton or Apple, and you have a problem with your computer, and click this link to get your computer fixed. They will call you over the phone saying, this is tech support. We detected a virus when you were using your computer last night. We need to fix it. Whatever you do, don't click on the pop-up. Shut your computer down immediately, because again, they're going to load viruses to your computer. Never click on the pop-up link. Never do business with a tech support company that just calls you. Change your email and social media passwords as many times as you can. I usually advise people change your passwords every 3 to 4 weeks, and do passwords that are hard to crack, but only you know. And I'm glad my husband's not here today because I make fun of him for this, but don't use your wedding anniversary. Don't use your significant other's birthday. Don't use your birthday. It's okay if they forget your birthday. It's okay if they forget your anniversary. It might hurt your heart, but it's better than identity theft. Choose passwords that are easy for you to remember, but again, harder for other people to crack. Number 3, we have seen number 3 for years and years and years and years. It's called the grandparent scam, but there's been a lot of changes in the grandparent scam over the year. So we now call it the grandchild hook. So back in the day, the way this scam used to work is you would get a phone call, usually in the middle of the night, and it would go like this. Grandpa, it's Jenny, and I've been in a car wreck, and Mom and Dad are going to kill me, and I need you to pick me up from the hospital, or better yet, can you send me $5,000 for a cab and to get out of the hospital because I didn't bring my insurance card and Mom and Dad don't know, and I have to pay the full amount. They talk really fast. There's an emergency. They need money now. They don't want Mom and Dad to come. So guess what? As a grandparent, you're going to save the day. You're going to be grandparent of the year, and it will be just between you and your grandchild. This is definitely a scam, my friends. And again, scammers follow Facebook. They follow everything. If you're not on any social media, if you're not on a computer, your grandchild might be. And guess what? A scammer might look at your grandchild's stuff on the internet, and they might find out that, oh, you go by Gigi, or you go by Nana, or Pawpaw, or Granddaddy, because it's on the internet, and they're going to use that. But this is where it changes. Instead of it being an emergency like a car wreck or in jail, it's now COVID. What they're saying is, grandmother, I lost my job because of coronavirus, and I can't make my rent, and I don't know what I'm going to do, and I need your help, but there's light at the end of the tunnel. I have a job interview. Can you send me a few $100s to make my rent and for a suit and a haircut for my job interview, please? Or we had this one a few months ago. Someone's husband passed away, and she got a phone call from her grandson saying, Nana, I can't believe Papa left us. I can't believe he left us. I can't make it. I can't afford the plane ticket. I can't afford to come, but I really want to make the funeral. Can you help? The good thing is she knew that that wasn't her grandson. She knew her grandson was going to the University of Houston and he was in the middle of finals. He didn't live in Connecticut. She knew it was a scam. So how do we stop these? Because these scammers are playing on our heartstrings because these are our family. This is our family and grandbabies. That's your life. I have an 11-year-old and 13-year-old, both daughters. That's my life. First off, don't send money or gift cards because that's automatically a red flag. And what they do is they try to panic you. They try to get you in a panic where all you can think of is their safety or getting them out of trouble. And you're not even thinking. Ask the caller for your code word. Now, what is a code word? Every family member should have a code word. That is how you know if it's really your family member or not. Because guess what? Now there's a new technology where scammers, if you've ever done a video, if you've ever done a telephone call, if anybody has ever recorded your voice, a scammer has a technology and they could take your voice, go to the computer, and they can do something called deep fake, and they can basically take your voice and make it into any sentences, any words they want. So if you get a phone call saying, Nana, I need your help, it's Jennifer. Guess what? It can sound just like your grandchild because it is. But it's not. I know that sounds confusing, but it's their voice. But it's not really them. It's a computer that's mimicking their voice. We have to be careful. Ask questions that only your grandchild would know. Ask, well, how's your kitty cat? Your grandchild doesn't have a kitty cat. He's allergic. Ask only questions your grandchild will know. Now, number 2. I don't know about you all. I hate robocalls. Just raise your hand. Do you guys get robocalls? I know we all do, don't we? Did you know that Texas in 2018, 2019, and yes, 2020, we were #1 in the nation for the most robocalls? Did you know 60% of the phone calls that come to your mobile device are robocalls? Now, why are we getting robocalls? Did you know that scammers can call up to 5,000 people in 1 minute using this technology? And it's a dialer system. It's basically where their computer can call so many people in a minute. And it will come on as a recording like, your car warranty's up. Press 1 for more information. Press 2 to be disconnected. You know, something like that. Guess what? If you press 1, the scammer knows you're a live person. If you say, hello, they know you're a live person. It's not really the car warranty. It's not really Medicare. It's a scammer. They're trying to find out of those 5,000 numbers, which ones are real and which ones are fake. Sounds crazy, I know. But for example, out of that 5,000, if they just get one number that's real, and it's my phone number, they're going to take the phone number that you pressed 1 or said hello to. They're going to go to the internet. They're going to research that number. And what they're going to do is, if they find that number belongs to Jennifer Salazar, who lives in Spring, Texas, they go to what's called Google Earth. They see a picture of my house. They see my car in the driveway. Then you know what they're going to do? They're going to call me in a few days. And it's going to go like this. Is this Jennifer Salazar? Yes, it is. This is Sheriff so-and-so's office. We're working with the IRS because you didn't pay your taxes back in 2005. And if you don't pay $5,000 today in gift cards, we're going to repossess your blue CRV in the driveway. And by the way, we see that you live on da-da-da-da-da. We can also put a lien on your home. They're going to use every fear tactic they can. And it all starts with that robocall. And they're going to research you, even if you've never been on a computer a day in your life. Stuff about you is on the computer. If you go Google my name and my husband's name, you're going to find our marriage certificate in Jefferson County in Beaumont, Texas from 16 years ago. You're going to find my prom dress that I didn't post, my prom pictures. I don't post this stuff, but guess what? It's on the internet. So how do we stay safe from robocalls besides throwing our phones into a lake? Well, first off, I know this is hard, my friends, because This is your piece of property. I know this is going to be hard. Don't answer phone numbers you don't recognize. Set up the first line of robocall defense. Did you know that when you go get your cell phone, a lot of times you have stuff that is part of your bill that you didn't even know you were paying for? Did you know that they can put apps on your phone that will block these calls? Also, if you have an iPhone, there's a simple little button right here that you can click up and down. This goes to silent mode and it automatically sends people to the voicemail. Now, are you ready for the number one scam of 2021? It's the reason I'm home today. It's the reason my arm is sore because I had my second shot on Monday. COVID-19 scams. Now, since the beginning of COVID-19, my team and I, we've seen, because we've been keeping record, 103 scams. But we don't have all day. So we're going to tell you the ones we're seeing the most of right now in May. So first off, scam artists will call, post on the internet, email, and text you about false lies about COVID. For example, they will tell you about fake medicine that you can order that will prevent COVID or cure COVID. Now, remember, the word cure is a dangerous word, even though it's 4 letters. There's no such thing as a cure when you think about it. Because if you have diabetes or if you have cancer, your doctor's probably not going to say, I'm going to cure you. They're going to say, we're going to fight it. We're going to try to get your numbers where they need to be. Cure is a dangerous word. Also, you need to watch out for what we just talked about, the senior care packages. Medicare is not going to send you hand sanitizer. And this is a big one that we saw a few weeks ago. If you want to get your COVID-19 vaccination, why wait in line? When you get here, you can actually jump to the front of the line. You just need to click on this link and give us $20. Getting your COVID shot is not like going to a nice restaurant and giving the maitre d' $20 and you get ahead of the game. Not like that. You have to wait your turn. The biggest thing we're seeing right now, we're seeing 2 big scams right now. What we are seeing is there is a COVID-19 vaccine email scam, okay? There are emails going out that are scams. Now, the first one, and what is the catch of these? Well, first off, they're going to say that they need you to cover shipping and handling, or they need your bank account information. But let's look and see what they really look like. This is the first fake one that we've seen. Now, I want you to keep something in mind. Scammers can, do, and will steal logos. You see Visor, this is stolen. Did you know at the Better Business Bureau, we have someone, his name is Melvin. His job is to look for companies that steal our logo, because anybody can steal logos to look legitimate. And we go after those folks because you cannot have a BBB logo unless you qualify. These people stole the Visor vaccine or the Visor logo. And then if you look at the actual vaccine, look, free rewards, a minimum value of $90. Hey, I want money. Free to take the survey. Nothing in life is free but your mama's loving. Anytime you see the word free, there's usually a red flag. Provide valuable consumer data. Take the survey now. Pushy. But guess what? If you take your mouse and you go over to where it says from welcome, put your mouse over the welcome. Wait 5 seconds. This is the email address that pops up. That is a scam email, okay? So another one, this one's more generic. It's basically, we need your opinion. Doesn't even say you had the shot, nothing. To do a survey on what you think of COVID-19 vaccines. And if you look right here, it says right now we are offering a rewards program, and then rewards program is bolded. So is F in the letter 4. But then OR's not bolded, adults is not bolded, then the rest is bolded. That's definitely fishy. Then it offers you $1,220 free to take the survey, and you have to provide valuable information. Take survey now. Definitely a scam. This is what you need to know to be safe. And this is from our National Senior Medicare Patrol. Legitimate surveys will not offer you money. Also, legitimate surveys won't have an urgency. It won't say take it now. You'll have time. Always take your mouse and put it over the survey, who it's from. Check logos, languages, all of that to make sure it's correct. Now, I just got my shot in the Woodlands because I live in Spring, it's closer. And I got a survey on my phone this morning. And all it asks is, first off, it asks, how are you feeling today? Are you feeling okay? Yes or no? And then the next thing says, have you had any of the following symptoms? That is legitimate. And let me tell you why that's legitimate. It didn't say, what is your banking account number? What is your Medicare number? What is your insurance number? What is your date of birth? Anytime a survey asks for your personal information, walk away, because it is a way to commit identity theft. So there is something you can do though. The CDC, which is the Centers for Disease Control, has a V-Safe program, and they've partnered with CMS, which is Centers for Medicare and Medicaid Services, and the vaccine companies, the actual companies, Pfizer, Moderna, and Johnson & Johnson, are advising people to enroll in what they call this program, the CDC V-Safe program. It's basically a type of survey that they're monitoring symptoms, because it's helping them know the symptoms, like if you've had nausea, if you've gotten sick, if you've been dizzy. But they're not going to ask your Medicare number, your bank account, your address. They don't want any of that information. They want to know about your symptoms. But other than that, there's no surveys. Johnson & Johnson, Pfizer, Moderna, they're not going to ask for you to do a survey, okay? When in doubt, call us and we can verify if it's a survey or not. Also, this is the biggest one we have seen a lot of, and I'm trying to find mine, but if you went and got your vaccine, I know it's something that we're proud of. It's kind of like when we go vote, we're proud, right? Well, guess what? Scammers are naughty. Scammers come up with anything and everything, things that you don't even think of, they're coming up with. So I went and got my vaccine, and I got the second one yesterday, and you get a card that fills out when you got your vaccine, fills out the information and the type of vaccine, right? And this card is your shot record like. Well, guess what? People are posting this on the internet. They're taking pictures of this. They're sending it to friends and families. They're putting it on Facebook, on Twitter, on Instagram, because they're proud. But guess what? Scammers are stealing these cards, and they're making fake ones, and they're selling them. Now, why would they do that? That makes no sense, right? Wrong. Some people may use these fake cards to misrepresent getting the actual vaccine. They might lie and say they got the vaccine in their work, their housing, their school, or if they're traveling abroad, might ask to see that card. Well, they might say, well, here's the card, because they stole it, because they didn't really get the vaccine. So this is what I want you to be aware of with any kind of COVID-19 vaccine. First off, you cannot pay to put your name on the vaccine list, because getting a vaccine should be at no cost to put your name on the list. You cannot pay to get the vaccine earlier. By now, a lot of us should have the vaccine. If you get telephone calls, text messages, people coming to your door claiming to give you the vaccine at home, definitely a scam. Walk away. No one from Medicare or the health department is going to contact you. Okay, they're not going to contact you. And the last thing is, no one from a vaccine distribution site of a healthcare payer, like a private insurance company, is going to ask for your social security number. That concludes our top 10 scams of 2020. At the BBB Education Foundation, we have a very special email that we send out once a month. And we also send out all the speeches we do. And it's called Scam of the Month. And we pick the biggest scam that we see each month, and we put it on our YouTube channel. And we send that in an email blast. So if you want to go watch what the biggest scam of that month is, you're more than welcome to do so. It was such a pleasure speaking with you all today. I know I did a lot of information. Miss Jennifer, if you want, I can send you this PowerPoint, and anybody that wants it is more than welcome to have it. If you
That would be
ever
terrific.
need to,
Thank you.
yeah, if you ever need to call me, my direct number is 713-341-6184. If you want to report Medicare fraud, error, or abuse, you can do that at my phone number, or you can do it on the Texas Senior Medicare Patrol hotline. Myself or Robert will give you a call back on that number. It's 888-341-6187. And Miss Jennifer, I think we have a few minutes for questions.
That's terrific. If anybody finds later on that they want Jennifer's contact information, you can always reach out to me because I have it. If there's anyone online who wants with us on Zoom who's interested in asking a question, you can put that in the chat. Something that I have always wondered is there a type for who are these people? Who are these scammers? Do they fall into sort of in any type of person?
Not really, Jennifer. It's amazing. We've the ones that are caught, because, believe it or not, unfortunately, it's hard to catch a lot of these folks. A lot of them are in different countries. A lot of them are out of state. A lot of times, big call centers, we call them call shops, where they either have modern technology like the dialers, or they have like old technology and they're just using the phone and putting different numbers together. They range from all ages. And different scams, different predators, like the romance scam, we usually find are men that target women, and they claim to be military or a retired doctor or a lawyer. Females that target gentlemen, they are usually a model in another country or going to college or a single mom. So, I mean, there's so many different types of predators out there.
Yeah, it's always amazing to me because some of these scams are really sophisticated, and these aren't dummies. These are smart folks who are really committing these very deliberate crimes.
Absolutely.
And so, how often are people really caught doing this?
Not enough. Honestly, it's hard to keep up with that because there's so many scams that we see. I can talk on behalf of the Medicare scams. A lot of times when we build a case and we turn it in, it takes from a year to 5 years for an actual conviction, for it to go to the arrest, to a jury, to conviction. It usually takes up from 1 to 5 years. A case that we just built and is now getting ready to go to trial took about 3 years. So it just depends, because if one person is involved in the scam, probably 1,000 other people. And you got to realize that when you go to court, and we don't do the court thing, we build the cases, we send them. But when the attorneys and all these folks do that kind of stuff, they want to get as much evidence and as many victims as they can. So it takes time. And we call them fraud rings.
Right. No, I would imagine it would be incredibly difficult to gather that kind of evidentiary information.
It is. And a lot of it, believe it or not, with the Medicare program, all comes in the Medicare summary notice and the Medicare explanation of benefits. Services not provided, never happened. Double charges, doctors' names you don't recognize, odd charges like pregnancy tests, things like that. I mean, those are all red flags.
So COVID obviously is a whole new opportunity for this sort of thing. But outside of COVID, how often are you finding sort of new things that you might add onto this top 10 list? They're very creative. So
we see, and like I said, this could actually be at the top 40 because we see so many scams. The car warranty scam, that one's been around for years. You get a phone call saying that, your car warranty is coming up and we need to go ahead and update it. That's a big one. Utility scams, for example, someone coming to your door saying that, we're with the utility company. Can we take a look at your electricity, see what's going on? And then without you knowing it, they're going to switch you to a different electric company. Water company, same thing. You're having problems with your water. If we just need to test it to make sure it's safe to drink. And they go in and they test it and then they say, oh, it's not safe. We're going to have to shut it down and fix it. Then they shut it down. And then once they say it's fixed, to reconnect it, they'll charge you $200. So we see all kinds of scams. I know hurricane season is coming up. We see a lot of scams before, during, and after the hurricanes. We do a wonderful presentation saying, don't let disaster strike twice. It's how to try to prevent these scams before they happen. Census scams. I mean, it just depends what's going on in that time of the year. With the presidential election, and we're not getting political, we saw a lot of those scams as well. Like you'd get phone calls asking you to do a political survey. And one of the questions at the end, well, thank you so much. Can we get your address to send you a thank you card? Or would you like to donate to your favorite candidate? And you can go to this website and donate to Daffy Duck or Bugs Bunny. Scams. scams.
Right.
So it depends on the type of year. Christmas, we see a lot of Hanukkah, Kwanzaa, we see a lot of scams surrounding the holidays. So it's really the type of year, the kind of scams that we see a lot of.
Mm-hmm. Amazing. Really amazing.
Overwhelming.
Yeah, overwhelming. And it's a shame that folks who are obviously very creative and technologically adept can't be doing something useful with all of that smarts and knowledge.
And they're working on it. I mean, believe it or not, there's a lot of good out there that's trying to stop as much of this
Mhm.
as they can. But everybody on this call today, you also have the power to stop this. When you have time, tell a friend, tell a loved one, be careful when you pick up the phone, make sure you know who it is. Don't send a gift card. I mean, little things. If you send a family member, this is going to sound silly. If a family member, if it's their birthday and we don't see them right now because it's COVID, when you buy them a card and it's a pretty Hallmark card, put it in an ugly manila envelope. And I know that sounds crazy, but we see a lot of mail fraud too, Jennifer. What we see is
Yeah.
scammers go to mailboxes and they open, and if they see something in a pretty card or a pretty envelope, they may think that probably has gift card or money in it, but they're not going to open an ugly envelope. So we see all kinds of things.
Mm-hmm. It's amazing. This has been terrific information, and I would love to have you back to give us a new top 10, which I'm sure we'll just keep evolving with new and different things. But this is so important for us to stay up to date on. So thank you so very much. Richard, do you want to give us a little closeout here?
Well, first, thank you very much, Stephanie Baracus. Thank you, Laurie Ferris of the Senior Living Specialist. And of course, Jennifer, you are just outstanding. I have one question to Jennifer, if she can answer it very quickly, is there a place on the web where we can get a written list of these 10? And would you mind sending it to Jennifer Rosenzweig so that we can disseminate it through our congregation and to other congregations and groups in the city?
Absolutely. Now, we don't have a list online, Richard, but I can send you the list to Miss Jennifer. And please feel free to pass it out to anyone you like. Because again, prevention is sharing this information.
That's right.
Great.
Well, and of course, to everybody who's joined us via Zoom and YouTube, thank you very much for being with us. We're planning to return in person in October. So we'll be able to get some really good food, have a lot of fun schmoozing, and we've got a great entertainment in October. You'll be getting information about this during the summer. And of course, next November, we're going to the Museum of Natural Science. So you'll be getting information on that. And we want you to join us. We have a limited number of people who will be able to go, but you'll find out about it. And we all look forward to seeing you at that time. On behalf of the Yes Group, I just want to say stay safe, stay healthy. And we look forward to seeing you either in person or on Zoom, either at services or other places. And even though it's raining outside and it's wet and it's dreary, my favorite term is have a lovely day. Thank you very much for joining us.
Thank you, Richard.
Thank you.
Thank you, Jennifer. And we'll see you all very, very soon. Take care, everyone.
Thank you. Thank you.